Hello and welcome to Emotional Support Water Bottle with Hannah and Ailish.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Ailish. We are back.
I know, even though you didn't have a break from us, but we had a break.
We had a break from each other. I was on vacation and now I'm back. I guess again, we know the quality of our last episode. We know the audio was
not
good.
great. If we do that again, we do have plans to be able to fix that situation. Yeah. I guess honestly, I didn't really think about the audio being like that.
I didn't either until we listened back.
Makes sense. But I feel like I take videos all the time and the audio is not like that. But I think it's because we were in the car.
I think so too. But yeah, we did find some little really professional baby mics that we can clip right on.
Yes.
So if I thought it was kind of fun to do that.
No, it definitely was a lot of fun.
It just, we have to do more activities where it would make sense for us. But so, and they weren't super expensive, so that might be something that we just invest in. And Anyway, the one thing I wanted to say before we get started on our pop culture recap stuff was today is August 8th and Spirit Halloween has come to town.
Oh, wow.
I don't know when exactly it rolled in. It is.
It's in my town?
Yes.
Wow.
It is here. And I don't know if it rolled in August 1st.
I think we're all just over this summer, this
because
wonky.
It's been so crappy.
It has, between the air quality.
I know. And you know what? I guess this makes sense, but I was up in Michigan with my family, and it's in the Upper Peninsula, so we are, a little closer to part of Canada. But it was real smoggy and hazy up there, too.
Lovely.
And I, actually could feel congestion.
Yeah.
And I didn't even think about it. And I woke up the one day, I'm like, why am I congested? And then my dad was like, it's because of this haze. I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. But yeah, Spirit Halloween. And I will say, just today alone, I got 2 emails that come to the top of my head about Halloween clothing.
Dang.
So I
definitely think we need to dress up for the podcast.
Oh yeah, we should just, as soon as October starts,
we just start dressing
up.
Oh yes, we have to start planning now.
We really should. If anyone has any ideas for friend costumes,
oh my gosh, that's gonna be fun.
We also wanted to say, I almost forgot to say this, and we literally just talked about it. Don't forget, guys, to follow us on platforms, subscribe to us. Seems like you guys are listening, but not following us. So don't forget, we can be found on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, Apple Podcasts, really any. But all of the above would be preferred.
Yes, please. So check out our socials and follow us. Yeah. We're going to try to post as much as we can.
Listen, we've been trying, guys. We're trying to put out content, but please don't forget, we both have, full-time jobs. Hannah has kids.
We're doing our best out here.
We're doing our best. But yeah, please engage with us.
Yes.
Okay. Well, we wanted to do our little catch up with Real Housewives.
Yeah.
We know that we haven't talked about them in the past couple, but we're not going to go back 3 episodes. The one thing I wanted to say was do we need to address Tamra's drinking?
We need to address Tamra in general.
In general.
She's I don't even know what to say. When, I can't remember where we last talked about it. When she threw the napkin at Jen and then she came back and she's like, I am so pissed.
I know.
I'm like, what are you so mad about?
And then I just feel like with the Shannon thing at the very beginning of the season, and then with this altercation with Jen, she comes back next episode and it's like, I don't even remember. I drank way too much.
I know, and it's like, is she using that as an excuse, or is she like genuinely like not remembering this stuff?
I know. I'm a little torn. I mean, I do feel like she is trying to come back on her, grand return and really turn it up. So I could see where she's maybe drinking more and feeling like I really have to bring it. But I can also see how she might be using it as an excuse for her behaviors.
I know. It's like blowing my... Okay, so then the thing with Ryan allegedly saying that he wants to hook up with Tamra the first time he saw her or walked into the gym or whatever. Why is she... Okay, this is what I was kind of thinking. I'm like, he never actually tried to hook up with her.
Right.
So what is the problem? Like, people say that kind of stuff all the time. It doesn't make it right. And do I think he's like a crappy boyfriend? Yes, I think he probably is. But it's like, if he never pursued anything, why is that making her... Like, where's that anger coming from?
Well, and if I was her, I would be offended by that for sure. Yeah. And if I was Eddie, I would be 100% be like mad about that. But you're right. Like, why is it hitting such a nerve?
Yeah, where she's like angry about it. I'd be like, you know what? You're just gross.
Yeah, like you're a creep. I mean, I don't know. There could be other things.
I know. Like, I feel like I'm missing something, and I don't know if it's going to get explained more as the season keeps progressing.
And I just feel like, so I don't know. The episode before this one, there was just like, I guess, I don't think. Oh, it was just basically when Tamra and Jen first got together, and Tamra's like, "Oh, things are fuzzy," and then Jen basically just forgives her and moves on, but doesn't really move on. And then,
especially now after that Watch What Happens Live, I was like, okay, they're still mad.
And then things just keep getting weird, and Ryan keeps leaning into where he like sent that overexposed snap to everyone on his friend list, and it's like he's almost leaning into it.
I know,
now.
like, haha, it's funny. It's like that weird.
He keeps
it's
true,
it up. But let's laugh about it because it's funny. It's not funny,
and it's almost like I think you can tell that Jen is embarrassed.
Yeah, she definitely is, and then she's like, "Oh, haha." It's like they're trying to be ahead of the joke, but it's not working that way.
No, and I think she just wants him to stop bringing it up. But like, every chance he gets, he's literally bringing it up. And it's like, why do you want everyone to keep thinking about?
It's like, I'm not trying to bring something like that up all the time.
You're like relaxed package.
Like, no,
why do we need to even think about that? It's just really weird.
I know, the whole thing is just, I don't even know what to think of it.
But then, like, so now we're meshing into like this past week's episode, and it's just like they're at this super awkward dinner.
I know why. I'm just hoping this is a production thing, because what planet would this need to happen?
I know. And Ryan brings that up. Well, first, he's like, look, Eddie, I want to apologize to you man to man. But also, I was pretty mad because this is all just gone on too far, and Jen's coming home crying. So it was like an apology wrapped in a, like, I don't even know.
I just really feel like there's like a piece that the audience isn't getting.
Yeah, well then he, like, so before Jen said, well, Tamra, she kind of threatened her with you don't want me to bring that up, you don't want me to go there.
Right.
And then it was like a, maybe a little racy joke that Tamra made about Ryan. But then when Ryan brought it up at this dinner, he kind of said something different.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah, Jen would tell me that you'd call her and say how hot I was on the treadmill. It's like, that's not what was said before. Like, did she say all of it? Did she say none of it? Are you twisting stuff? It's
all.
just
It's like I'm so confused.
Me
I just
too.
feel like there's just so much we're missing as audience members, and I just don't understand why Tamara is so mad and like what this whole situation even is.
I don't know either. I mean, I can definitely see like, okay, maybe everything's building. Like, I can understand why you'd be offended by Ryan making those comments. I understand why Eddie would be mad about it. I understand why you don't like this guy for your
Right.
supposed friend. The cheating thing when they were on a break, like I get that. Yeah. Like all of that together, I can see why
Right.
you would be like, you know, wanting to stick up for your friend, but it's almost like she has this weird rooted
I know, like
anger.
it just feels like something else is going on, and I can't really figure out what it is.
And do you feel like when Jen keeps bringing up, like they brought up the Heather Amin thing, and they're like, she's the one that's making all this up. She's lying. Well, how convenient that she's not on this show.
I know. Wait, was she on the one episode?
She was
for like
on
a second.
The pool party episode.
Yeah.
But it's like how convenient that she isn't. I mean, she's not even a friend of.
Right.
She just showed up that one time. She can't defend herself.
No.
We don't really know what she's saying. It's like, of course, you can throw her under the bus and say that she's making it up. Right. It's almost like this is the OC version of Teresa and what's his name again? Her in Jersey. Whatever, I can't think of his name.
Not Paul.
No.
No, not Joe.
Wrong one.
It's like some basic Louis.
Louis, yeah. It's almost like this is the OC version. Like it's weird. And I don't know what the heck Ryan was wearing at this dinner. I mean, he looked like such a douchebag.
What did I hear that on? He made that himself?
That honestly makes it worse.
I know. I wonder what I heard that on, but they were like, yeah, no, he like makes those jackets himself.
That really makes it worse. The fact that he put time into that.
I know, I'd like to share. Maybe the person was I want to say it was on Watch What Happens Live, maybe, and like Vicky or Shannon said it. Maybe that's not where it was. But maybe they were being sarcastic, but I was like,
Vicky said it, that would honestly be a funny joke, and I could see her making that as a joke.
Can't remember, but anyway.
Anyway, yeah. So, I just don't. I feel like we are missing something. The audience is missing something.
And hopefully it'll at least come out in the reunion. There's got to be more to it.
There has to be.
But then, like, Tamara, then she gets Shannon all riled up by being like, Heather told me something about her.
Here's what made me mad about this. It was like we said before, this is the let's hate on Heather season. But it's like, okay, yeah. Was it a little shady of Heather to kind of, you know, have Shannon confide in her and then her to say stuff to other people? Yes. But from what people are saying, we don't really know if Heather just said, yeah, I mean, she's told me some things and it doesn't sound like they have a good relationship, or if she got into detail.
Right. And weren't there like clips of like, people were kind of prying it out of Heather a little bit too. So it's like, and I feel like Tamara did that like twice now where she like is instigating it and then.
I know. And Heather didn't bring it up on camera.
No.
Who brought it up on camera? Tamara. So if like any of this was true where Heather really was being kind of shady, she never had the conversations on camera where like it would have been out there.
I know. And then Shannon was so upset, like breaking the fourth wall and everything. Like,
I thought it was going to be something way more dramatic.
I know.
So I was kind of annoyed.
Like, who cares? But I don't know. But on Watch What Happens Live, Shannon was like, it's all going to make more sense as the season goes on, why I'm having the issues with Heather. So I'm interested to see what happens with that. Like,
yeah.
I guess this keeps developing, so maybe we'll switch how we feel about it. But
regardless, though, I mean, we were excited for Tamara to come back, but I am really just disliking her.
I know. It's just kind of mean-spirited. Like,
it is.
Like, even with the Jen thing, it's like if I really felt like Tamara was coming from a loving place, like, this guy is just crap. I would feel better about it instead of this, like, that guy's crap, so I'm going to be mean to you about it.
Right.
It's like, that's not really, I don't know. I just don't feel like I would, if I didn't like your boyfriend, that I would like be mean to
me
you about it.
I know. And you would hopefully have the decency to just have that conversation with me privately, where Tamra is like doing everything in her power to not do that. I know.
And then like to bring up what he said about her, I was like, what does that have to do with this though right now? But
it's the other thing I wrote down about this last week's episode was when Jen and Tamra got together for that little whatever they were having, that little fruit bowl thing. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And Jen basically just like rolls over on her back, like, I'm exposed. And Tamra's like, I've just had a lot going on. What?
What? Like, starting fires and walking away? Yeah, you do have a lot going on.
And then she's like, Cut Fitness closed. Yeah, like freaking months ago.
I know. Like, what is this timeline here?
Eddie's grandmother's sick. She's gotta be in her 90s. I mean, and we've never once heard about Eddie's grandmother before.
No, not a word.
Like, what do you have going on, Tamra? It's all like
excusey. I don't know.
I know. She is just so, and I don't know, she was like this before. We've kind of talked about it. But, like, I really feel like she is the villain of this season right now.
The way she's not being nice.
Oh, it's the outside. I thought it was like a muffled baby. I was like, is everything okay?
Okay, well.
But anyway, yeah, she's not being nice, like you said. She just
it's a lot.
And I just feel like she's in there, and I don't know why no one is seeing through her behavior right now.
And I think when she would get in fights with Vicky sometimes, I feel like Vicky could like hold her own. I felt like even with Gretchen, even though there was like a lot of bad stuff with Gretchen, it was like she like fought back. I feel like she's just being mean.
Right.
To like Jen, who's literally not gonna fight back.
No.
And then to Heather, it's like, what is that about?
Right.
Because Heather's presents herself in a different way, so she's not gonna get all up in somebody's face like that.
And even with Shannon, like Shannon isn't really gonna do anything. It's like she's just going after like the weakest people. Yes. Like she's not going after Emily because she knows Emily's gonna give it back to her. It's just kind of, it's so calculated, and it just makes me feel like, okay, look at yourself. Like, how old is she? Like, she has to be at least 50 at least.
That's what I would guess. Yeah.
And it's like, how are you having the exact same behavior, if not worse, than, when you were on the show at the beginning?
Yeah.
It's just
10-15
Yeah. I mean,
ago.
it's almost like sad, and I don't know why no one's talking about that.
I know, right? Because they're scared of her. She's so edgy.
It's like, I don't know. Maybe if I was in that,
I know. I guess
I'm
trying to think of it from a reality TV standpoint. It's like, okay, she's bringing the drama, but but it's not.
It's almost not even fun drama to watch.
It's just mean.
Yeah, and you know what else? It was like Tamra always says. How many times has she said so far this season? I just want us to have a fresh start. I just want to But when Heather said, it's like just pressing the reset button. Right. Everyone was like, what's up with you and the reset button? It's literally the exact same thing.
I know, because Heather's not scary and Tamra is.
It's really, I don't know, as an audience member, I mean, I would love to know what other people are thinking about this. Because,
I know, I'm kind of like annoyed that Heather or Juicy Scoop doesn't talk about it.
I know, me too.
Because I want to know what she's thinking of this situation.
Like, Heather McDonald, we've called you out before. We want to have conversations. Please, let's do it.
I know, but
as switching gears a little bit, I guess just switching over to Shannon, with everything with like, if this comes out, my relationship's over. And I understand, with her prior marriage, Maybe she doesn't want to put everything out there. But at the same time, she's also filming with John.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
know. I thought that
almost
was a
like
little, and it was like, calm, easy.
right. And I feel her reacting that way and having it be in the final cut of this season almost makes things worse for their relationship.
I know. It's like, whoa, it must be really bad,
right.
you know?
And even if we never find out like what it was, I'm still like, holy cow, for you to have that type of reaction. I know,
like she was like, oh dear, like I got in trouble for this before.
She was like, bravo, bravo, bravo. Like it was really, but I don't know. It's weird that like you're going to have your relationship kind of be filmed, but then obviously not show everything. And even when they are being filmed, you can see like they kind of have an awkward repertoire. Like
I know. I feel like he doesn't really want to be filming.
Then
but like
why?
does.
Like then don't make it. You know what I mean?
I know.
Like it's just weird. And I don't think that the glimpses that we're seeing of their relationship really make me think that they're super solid and super
didn't
great.
She just get in a fight with the daughter at like a club or something? It's like,
and are they they're not together, right? Or are they together?
I think they are, because on Watch What Happens, but I thought they were broken up too, but then it sounded like, unless this is a different boyfriend she's talking about.
Are they on again, off again? I mean, I don't know.
She was like, well, me and his daughter have never had a great relationship. And I was like,
but why not? Like, that seems so weird.
I know. I don't think I would want that, especially when you're, you know, like maybe in your last relationship of life. Not to be weird, but it's like, don't you want to be like getting along with the family? Like, I feel like that'd be really important.
Right. And I mean, I think his daughter is older.
Right. Like at least a grown woman. Yeah.
Yeah. So what could you possibly be fighting about that you would be yelling at a restaurant? Like, come on, Shannon.
I know, like and then she's like, well, we didn't get like kicked. I can't even remember what it was.
Yeah, it was really.
We didn't get kicked out, but we did get kicked out.
It was like a technicality, yeah. But I wanted to say, like, comparing her relationship and what she's willing to talk about to Emily. Like, I thought it was really refreshing. I mean, she's kind of talked about stuff with Shane before, but in this past episode when they were going to that pumpkin patch and she was like, you know, you belittle me and like undermine me right in front of the kids, and then they go out to dinner and they have a conversation about it, and Shane is like, you know, I'm sorry, whatever. It's like, yeah, that isn't a huge thing, but she's said, like, that's probably the thing that we fight about most in our marriage, and this is what upsets me most about him. And he's like, yeah, you know, I do have an issue with that, or I will admit that I just appreciate that they are being more transparent in that way, and it makes them more likable.
No, I did too. At first, when she tried telling him how she felt at that dinner, he kind of laughed, and I instantly was getting mad. But then he did kind of be like, "Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel that way." Yeah, I thought that was really refreshing too. It was like a real fight that wasn't like this evil dark thing. It was like a genuinely like, hey, we don't get along about this, and this is a hard thing in our marriage when it comes to raising our kids, and it really does put a wedge between us. But I appreciated that too. I do kind of like Emily, I think.
I do like her. I think that she is very real about her just, I don't know, her, like, how she's attracted to Shane too. She's like, listen, if it wasn't for his personality and his sense of humor, because I mean, look, I don't think he's a troll that lives under the bridge.
He's definitely regular. I mean,
he's very average, but he seems kind, and he is funny. He's had a lot of little one-liners.
Like like they do seem like they have a genuine relationship that they work at.
Yeah,
and I do think that's nice.
It's kind of different from other relationships that we've seen on Housewives.
Yeah, where it's not like she's just a trophy wife who is miserable.
Or you can just tell that both of them hate each other, but they're together just because
it's the best option.
Right.
Yeah, it is nice to see like a genuine thing, which I did want to kind of talk. Are you done talking about the Housewives?
Yeah, I don't really feel like there's anything else that I...
Because speaking of...
Oh, wait, the last thing we talked about before. We just want everyone to remember that we I don't know the exact episode.
Oh, yeah.
We said before I heard it anywhere else
that Heather is transitioning to Beverly Hills.
And I think this last episode all but confirmed it.
Mm-hmm.
And we heard on Juicy Scoop a couple episodes ago that they're thinking about that too. So you know what?
Our episode came out first.
You heard it here first. Emotional support water bottle.
Coming at you with the hot takes.
But no one really cares about it.
Anywho, I don't think we've really touched much on this on our podcast. What do you think is going on with Mauricio?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it a little bit. You're right.
I don't know. I do kind of go back and forth with this whole thing, but this is kind of, okay, if Kyle is not having a romantic relationship with that Morgan Wade, is that the name? I was kind of thinking, I'm like, she has only daughters. Her daughter, she's just used to being around like younger women. And I feel like maybe that is part of why she's kind of like hanging out with this younger girl, because that's what she's comfortable hanging around. And now she only has one daughter still at the house. And I feel like maybe it has to do with that. But then again, I'm kind of like,
I know, I'm so back and forth because I really could see it going either way.
And it's interesting too, because it was like, obviously they were like this perfect couple on the Housewives, but it does seem like the more perfect somebody tries to make something seem, it's not actually perfect.
And I could totally see Kyle being the type of person that would have hidden that and just kept up appearances for the show. And, maybe she did let Mauricio do whatever he wanted. Maybe she was allowed to do whatever she wanted. But when the cameras were rolling, they acted like
we're
the picture
happy
perfect.
Couple.
Yeah.
We're so silly. And I just don't know. And now that the girls are gone, that was probably what Kyle was just dedicating her life to all the time. And now that they're gone and it's just him and her, it's like, oh.
And Mauricio has that new reality show. And I don't know, is it just Ferrera that's on there, or is one of the other ones too? Who knows, really?
I don't know.
I don't know if that show's out yet or if it's still in production, but I mean, I don't intend on watching that. No. But yeah, maybe, he finally had his own little time in the spotlight and she was like, you know what?
I mean, I know.
I need somebody. Yeah, I don't know.
I know. I'm like, is it this late in life?
But I could see it being that too.
I know. That's the other thing, especially because, I mean, how many times do we kind of like hear that happening?
I know.
And like, like we said before, and that psychic was like, he'll never emotionally fulfill you. And that whole, not that we have to believe in the psychic, but that's such an interesting thing to say.
It's pretty ironic.
I know, like, it's not that, he's just never going to love you. It's like, he will never emotionally fulfill you.
And how many times do people say that about, women and women relationships? Right. It's like, okay, I do feel so much more emotionally fulfilled and so much more heard and understood. Yeah, for sure. The thing that makes me think it is more of a romantic thing is the fact that they got these matching tattoos, which, I mean, we have matching tattoos. Never mind. But, I mean, that is a little weird with somebody that you hardly know.
Right. And it's like when we, did it, we were young girls, and that's kind of like what young girls do.
Right?
Right. But I don't know. I guess I could see about that. And then that whole thing where like Morgan Wade was coming out with a music video.
I know.
And then that Chrishell was like, like she's in on something, and Chrishell's dating the G Flip.
I know. It's almost like the same
It's like a parallel.
Story. Yeah.
It's like a parallel thing. And like, why would she just happen to like be all about that? That's what makes me think too. We're going to have to watch.
Well, and then I know we're going to have to watch Beverly Hills. But then it's kind of like, wasn't the ratings from the previous season not super high for Beverly Hills? I don't even know what was going on because I don't even think I watched that season.
I watched some of it because I was on my maternity leave, and I like just picked up like kind of in the middle of the season, I think. But
so I could see them being like, okay, hey, we need, and Kyle being the way she is.
Yeah.
Now that, Vanderpump isn't on it, Lisa Rinna's not on it, Kathy Hilton's not on it. Like, who's bringing the drama?
I know,
who's bringing the fire?
I know, and Kyle with the sisters is just such good TV, and then without them, it's like, what other tumultuous relationship does she have? Okay, how about her husband? But I don't know. I would like to think that somebody wouldn't go along with that type of storyline.
Yeah, but we also have like all the weirdness with like, Kim and Croy. Where they're like in this beat down, drag out separation, and all of a sudden the switch flip, they go to mass one time and they're back together. I mean, was that all just for drama for the show?
Or sometimes you wonder too if their life is so in the reality world that they don't even know what's true and what's not true. Like, okay, let's have this storyline where we're not getting along and I find this lover, but then all of a sudden she actually really is my lover. Like,
yeah, but you're right. That is especially in this day and age, I know, and where there's so much like queer baiting stuff, it would be weird for that to just be a plot line.
Right, and it'd be distasteful.
It would.
But I don't but do they care? I mean, how long can we broke up.
Right. And no one would be any the wiser. Right. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know. I was thinking about this when I was on my way over here. Like, I almost kind of wish that if Kyle and Mauricio did have an open relationship, that they would have just been honest about it.
I know. That's the part. I feel like they would too, and I do feel like
because
sorry.
No, I mean, I cut you off too.
I mean, I guess Kyle just seems like this like doting wife that wants to have this perfect marriage and would do anything to keep it perfect.
Yeah.
So I do find it hard to believe that they did have like an open thing, but I don't know.
But who knows? Because I think are a lot of couples like that in Hollywood where it's just like, okay, a divorce would be too much.
Right.
Or like, well, we do like each other, or we want to be together as like lifelong partners, but the spark isn't really there.
Right.
I don't know. I really don't know. But it would be kind of interesting to like get a peek into that world. Because that really isn't something that in our day-to-day life that we have any exposure to, really. And
it's like, how does this work logistically?
Right. And not that that's something that I ever think I would be open to, but like, I don't know. I think it would be just kind of like, I don't know, an interesting part of a season. But clearly they
but then you kind of wonder too, like back with the Lisa Vanderpump trying to show Brandy the article of Mauricio having an affair and them getting like all mad about it. And it's like, I don't know, sometimes that stuff doesn't just come out of nowhere, whether it's like Kyle maybe knew about it and didn't want people to know about it, and that's why they got so mad. I don't know, you just wonder.
Yeah, and I almost, if she did know about it, which I feel like she did,
or it could have even have been like, she knows but doesn't admit it to herself. It's like, oh yeah, okay, honey, I love you. Have fun in your business trip. And then she just never asks questions because she has a good life.
And that happens a lot too. Or that they just straight up know and don't care. And they're like, well, as long as you're coming home to me and I'm the one that's, getting half.
Right.
It doesn't matter. I don't know. And like I think that's something that happens a lot more in Hollywood than we like actually know about. And I would just be interested to.
I know it would be an interesting, like, if a housewife could like be honest about their situations, but
yeah, I really don't know. And it's kind of cooled down a little bit. I mean, it was really hot there for a while with like, they're divorcing, they're not divorcing,
they're posting
who's
gym
talking
selfies
about it. Yeah, like it really was. So I don't know. But it's like there were times where Kyle was photographed without her wedding ring at weird places or with this Morgan Wade at random places. So it just seems like you're calling the paparazzi.
Yes.
And with what
then
we
it's
know
like,
from,
I took my ring off in the gym
it's
because
getting
I don't want to
cleaned, or
dust
I don't want to get any
scuffs.
calluses. Yeah.
It's like, oh, shut
But
up.
we know from what Heidi and Spencer talk about all the time, in this day and age, people are calling the paparazzi.
Right. There's no accidents.
So, side note, I think about that every time I see a picture of Emily Ratajkowski walking her dog. It's
or
like, come on.
Kid.
Yeah. Or like Kelly Ben Simone.
Right. Like,
no paparazzo is out there like, ooh, star sighting. No one cares about her. But anyway, yeah, it is really, I don't know. I'm interested to know what happens. The season's probably going to come out and it's going to be like nothing. I know it's not going to be as juicy as
we're hoping. It's just going to be that same thing we did with Vanderpump, where we're like analyzing every little thing because we have the future.
Right.
But speaking of marriages, we just casually touched on Ariana Grande in our last video. Just to acknowledge that a lot has happened.
It was breaking at that time.
It was. So she's having like, okay, me and my husband were talking about it, and I was like, that guy is literally so stupid. Like, just have the affair, like sleep with her, whatever. And then it's like, does he really think that it's ever going to become truly something? I mean, she'll be over you in 2 years. You know what I mean?
Look at her track record.
Yeah, it's like, why would you leave your whole family for that? You know what I mean? Like, it's so dumb. Like, he's just...
And this isn't even a woman that he, like, met 2 years ago. They got married, had a kid. He has been with her since, like, high school.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
I know. It is fun. Not funny to think about, but a little bit funny where it's like, oh, who's your celebrity hall pass? And he's like, I don't know if he thinks it's Ariana Grande. And then she literally comes in, like it actually happens like that.
And then the wife is like, wait a second.
What? This is all hypothetical.
It was only supposed to be one time. I did see, I think I liked the TikTok where this woman was like, listen, I'm not an Ariana hater, but I think you know what you need to do next. And it was getting Aaron Taylor Johnson away from...
Please. He needs saved.
For those of you who don't know, he's married to a woman who's like double his age.
Like more than that. Like freaking triple his age. And she knew him when he was a kid.
Yeah.
And they got married, when he was like 18?
Yeah. And she literally has to be like 60 or something crazy.
I know. And he's probably like our age.
Yeah. That he does need saved. But I just had to laugh at that.
So
it's
good.
like, it's one of the green screens and you just see like her head and then she's like, you know what you need to do, and she moves out of the way and we see.
Oh my gosh. But we'll see how that unfolds.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing was with that was, you know, the scandal broke that they were in a relationship. And then I don't even know if it was, I think it was from his rep, right? Where he's like, nothing happened until we were separated. Yeah. And then the wife was like,
May.
I was blindsided and now I'm a single mom.
Literally. And then like in May, he had posted, oh dear.
Everything's fine.
Okay, well then in like May, he's giving her this like Mother's Day post.
Yeah.
And they're all like, no, it's been like over for a long time and blah. And then didn't Ariana like have an anniversary post too?
Yes, she did.
But then she was like, apparently he's not a good, I don't know.
She was like, what did she say? Like something about how much she loved him.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
and then like
what?
A month later, this all comes out.
And then he filed for divorce, didn't he?
I don't remember.
I thought, what's his name? Ethan?
Dalton.
Oh,
no. Wait, which one? Ethan, yeah. Ethan. Oh, yeah.
He filed from his wife, right?
I think so.
He did, because I remember thinking it was weird, but I could be wrong about that.
I know. I don't know.
Has anyone filed between Ariana and...
I think Yeah, I thought maybe she did. I don't remember.
It's just all very strange. And look, I don't think either of us are sitting here trying to be like haters and like say stuff about how horrible her relationships have been. But it's just like for this guy, you're totally
I
right.
know,
Like,
that's what I'm like,
why
come
would you
on.
blow up
I know
your whole
everything for you, like, and it's not like you want to be like, oh yeah, go have sex with Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, you have the opportunity.
Right.
Don't leave me.
Yeah.
Full blown leave me for it. Like, that is such a stupid move. Like, I'm just like, you are a dumb
You
idiot.
just blew up your life. And I mean, it sounds like
I hope she won't take him back, Lily.
Well, I hope she isn't either. And it sounds like she is like steadfast, like, I'm going to do what's best for my kid.
Mhm.
I am a single mom. Like, she
Dead
might
to me.
literally, like, fight for him to not even have custody.
Good for her.
I don't know.
That was a bad move.
Yeah,
but...
that was so silly. And
No.
listen, he just isn't, it's not like he's Brad Pitt or something,
Right.
where it's like...
That's why I think, too, that for her, the wife, it's like... Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, you stole my man out of all these men in Hollywood. You're going to take this one? I don't know. I mean, you can't take a man. He leaves. Right. But it's just like,
but just the
girl,
just to say it. Yeah, it is like
him.
Again, don't want to judge him, but
I know, and I'm
it is
sure
a little surprising.
He must be somewhat charming. But I don't know. And you know what? Somebody pointed out, too, that I remember that interview, too, with Ariana Grande where she was on, like, Zach Sang show. And she was, like, crying, like, if I got a role in Wicked, I don't care what it is, and blah, blah, blah. Why would you, like, create, like, a mockery of it? You know, like, at least wait till you're done filming for it to get out, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it just, and I mean...
This is your dream, and then you're just...
It just seems really odd, too, that they clearly were not flying under the radar amongst the cast. And,
and there's
this
even,
got
like, a picture where they got, like, their arms around each other, strolling around.
Like, come on.
I know.
No shame at all.
No, it's like, I'm in my own... And I'm sure there is kind of like when you're on a movie set, you're kind of do feel like you're in your own world and, like, you're the main star and everybody's like catering to you. So you probably do kind of get lost in this own world. But it's like, were you not calling your wife and FaceTiming your baby?
And I think
I don't understand.
The last episode, too, that Ariana's husband allegedly, well, not allegedly, I guess people said, that he flew out there to try and work on their marriage.
Yeah.
So it's like, and yeah, was he not in communication with his wife the whole time?
Right.
Like, it just seems so, and he just... I'm not big into the Broadway world, but he seems like a pretty normal person. It just seems like such a bizarre thing. I think he just got lost in the sauce.
I think so, too, because he had this huge opportunity. He's going to be in this huge movie. Like, this is going to be huge. And he kind of just, like, tarnished his reputation. He's not professional.
No.
Because he can't,
keep it together.
Yeah.
But
cheat on his wife
now, what is he going to be known for? Instead of being known for his maybe amazing performance in this, it's going to be, he's the one that cheated on his wife with Ariana Grande, and 6 months later, she moved on.
Right. Literally. That's what it's like, Like, I just want to be like, you'll see. But...
And then he's going to be just left with, like,
nothing.
Literally
nothing. He's not going to have Ariana or this kid. So, sucks for you. But
it really does. We started watching the new season of Jersey Shore.
Definitely the first episode was a little underwhelming, but I figured it would be.
It was just the setup episode.
It's like, Sam's back. Let's get a hold of Sam. We were fighting with her, but they're like still fighting with her at this point, even though now we know they're like on podcasts and everything together.
Right. So, we've kind of lost the allure of that. I did say when I was, I've been seeing a lot of stuff on TikTok recently of like old episodes of Jersey Shore. And so it's very fresh in my mind what people used to look like. And then now seeing this, I'm like, I mean, I'm sorry, but Angelina looks horrible.
I know. Well, you know what's she looks horrible, but she looks so much better than she did maybe 5 years. Like when it first started the family reunion. Like now she almost looks good.
Not to go on a tirade about her, but I just I cannot stand her behavior.
It'll be like 1 second, I'm like, oh, Angelina, that was awesome. And then next minute, she's like flying. Like that whole wedding thing, I still don't understand what in the world happened with. They made like, I don't even know, like a bad speech in her opinion, and she just like blew everything up. She let that ruin her wedding. And now she's already divorced, but and
I
that
know.
guy, I don't know, she had a weird, I don't know. We don't have to get into all that,
she just like it just seems like she wants so bad, and I think somebody even said it in this episode, to be that like mob wife.
Yeah.
But you're not.
No.
And it's so just trashy in my opinion.
She's very, very, very self-destructive. It's like the minute you give her like an inch, you know, she takes a mile and then stomps all over it.
And it's just like everything with her is turned up to level 5,000. It's like
you
the
threw
makeup,
a drink
the
at
hair, the reactions,
yes.
everything.
Yeah, it's like you tossed a splash of water at me, well, I'm going to throw an entire wine bottle at you. Yeah. It's like, why does it always got to go there? Like, I can't really ever figure out, but I just don't know.
And I guess that they keep her around for some drama, but like, I just don't, there's nothing that I'm like, wow, I wish Angelina was here. Like on those seasons when she wasn't. Like I never once thought that. It was honestly like,
I forgot she.
Yeah, like this is nice. Like,
yes.
And then even with drama that's happened or seems like it's going to happen, none of them will like fully ever take her side. No. You know, it's like, why do we have her here then? It just.
I know, it seems so like they're on eggshells with her all the time, and it's like that's exhausting. Like all these people have kids and families and other, you know, stuff like stores, and you know, their husbands have real jobs. It's like this is just too much for them to be like all over the place. And isn't she like, I don't know if she does it now, but wasn't she like an EMT or like a firefighter or something?
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm sure she probably doesn't do
that now. I can't imagine.
She's like a full person on the thing, but she like had a real job. I don't know, but I guess I don't know. Maybe Staten Island's different.
Who freaking know? Maybe that's what all their EMTs
are. Hey, they're just like screaming at you when they're trying to help you.
I was surprised when they showed her house, and I mean, we know from previous New Jersey, you know, situations, speaking of housewives, that everything is not always what it appears to be when it comes to money and homes. But I'm like, geez, like how much are they paying? Even with like Mike's, and when he went to jail.
I know. I could not figure. It was like they were in that apartment. He went to jail, gets out of jail, and they've got like this huge, literal mansion. House. And I get like, they're not having homes in like LA or New York City.
But they're in nice areas of Jersey.
Right. So it's kind of, I don't know, I guess you get like, I'm sure you get more bang for your buck, obviously. But it's like, Mike's coming out with a book, so we're going to have to.
Just get ready, guys, because
there's a lot of books coming out.
Our book club in the fall through the winter is going to be.
And there's literally like 3 books that I can think of right now.
It's gonna be
we'll
good.
Get into the other book in a second, but
it's gonna be good. I'm excited.
Is. Me too.
What else did I write? Oh, I just saying how like it's crazy how long they've been doing this for. Like the beginning when they kind of showed the year montage, it really is like insane.
I know. And they did the like press stuff really good for this season with like Sam. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna get these ratings back with Sam. But I mean, there wasn't much to Sam this first episode.
No, there wasn't.
Like, hey,
I thought she looked great.
She does look. I remember like coming across her TikTok back in the day, and I was like, she still looks good. Like,
I mean, she always was pretty, I thought, but like she looks amazing, and I don't think that she looks like she's gotten a ton of work done either, unlike everybody else. I mean, I think Dina looks pretty good. Like she looks like herself. She's just lost some weight.
Yeah, and the teeth.
Yes.
And the lips.
But like everybody else, you're like.
I know, and it's sad when I see like JWoww's kids because they look so much like her old face.
Right.
Like even their son and her daughter both look like her, and it's
like when they showed that picture. I mean, I was honestly like,
Whoa.
Oh my God, like whose kids are these? And then I remembered, oh wait, like JWoww didn't always have this
face
pulled back, frozen face.
I know, and I'm like so used to seeing them look this way now, but you do kind of forget when you do see the old clips. You're like, oh my gosh,
I know,
so different.
I know. Should we go to Atlantic City to see DJ Pauly D?
Yes. That'd be so much fun, honestly.
I know, it really would. Wow, look how she just removed it. If anyone looks at our Instagram, you'll see what just happened off camera. We have an interesting setup today.
I put a little post about Sam being on our Instagram and Mike the situation. Looked at it. I screenshot it. I'll probably post it just to show everybody that I really have it. He was the first person to look.
I mean, we love you, Mike. We do. I mean, and I'm not going to take, favorites here because I do like all of them.
And he is the instigation, which drives me nuts. But he looked.
So
that's all I'm going to say about that.
Hopefully he listens to the pod. That's all we can really hope for.
I literally pictured him.
DM him.
Hey, I heard he's really responsive to people that especially if you're talking about like addiction. He'll like be really nice and like respond. So I feel like he's really engaged in like the fans and stuff.
Okay, well.
But all I could picture is him clicking on her profile and being like, emotional water bottle? Oh, it's a podcast.
Oh.
And then I thought maybe he chuckled at our bio. I was like, maybe, podcast about two besties who never leave the house without their water bottle. I thought maybe he chuckled at that.
He probably like saw the pictures of us and like, wow, they're so beautiful.
I know. He was probably so ready to block us, like if we said something mean about him in his post, and then he's like, oh, okay. I'll let him go.
He literally blocks everybody. You're right. He probably had his finger over the button and then he's like,
hold up. I just like, it's so wild to think that he was on his phone, got the notification that we shared his post, and then like looked at it fully, checked to make sure it was okay, and then went back out.
Like, does he do that with everybody?
I know. It makes me want to post again, see if we can.
We're going to.
Just keep tagging him. We just get blocked from that.
Everything. Hey, Mike, we're not even talking about Jersey Shore.
Then he's on the podcast with us.
Sitting right here, right in between us. That could be our niche thing. That we just...
It's like our Spencer Pratt to Juicy Scoop.
We have people in between us.
Yes.
And we have to, like, look around.
You know what would be a good, like, some kind of reality show type situation would be, like, Mike, Jax, Spencer, just, like, all these reformed... reality show villains.
Yes.
Like, that would be such an...
Throw in Brandy Glanville.
Yes. I was thinking just for the guys.
Oh,
but that would be still, like, if we could get all these, like, villains.
This is our idea. No one pitched this.
Okay, we're going to trademark it. We're going to Bravo.
We're going to Bravo, trying to get the rights.
But I just think that would be an interesting, like, and they all have kids now, so it's like a family life type situation, and just like, is this great redemption arc for all of them?
I would watch it.
I would watch it too. All my favorite people.
The villains that everybody else hates. I mean, that was pretty much it.
Yeah, there really wasn't anything going on.
Whatever, Pennsylvania or something. Oh, the Ron and Sammy thing. Nobody wants it. Please don't make it an actual story
if
arc.
they need to be like together in a situation and they have like a really nice talk
that's
about
fine.
their growth, that's all I want. I do not want anyone pushing them
together.
Production, the other cast, like, do not do it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it.
It's completely unnecessary. And I think both of them are beyond that. So it's just silly. If they're really going to try and go out there, their relationship was so toxic. Why?
It was, and it's been a long time, and they're both in completely different places. Do I think Ron would get back with her? I
Absolutely.
do. But I know she won't get back with him. But still,
he's
I
the
don't
only
even want to
one that
like.
has this romanticized, and he's like the one that got away. Okay, yeah, Ron, because you're the one that messed
I
everything
know
up.
because you literally and you full on said, I think it was when they first came back for a family reunion. Yeah, we were still together, and then I cheated on
Right.
her, and then she didn't take me back. It's like, there we have it. She had enough of it.
Yeah. How many times on camera did we see your indiscretions?
Yes, over and over and over.
Over and over and over.
You're so mean to her. Not that she was perfect, but she was very reactive to him, I believe. But
I agree. Do you have any other comments on that?
no, we'll see what happens.
I know. I don't, like we said off camera to each other, this is something that I feel like I'm dying to watch every single
No, I
week.
definitely want to collect the episodes and then binge watch it.
Because like we said, we forgot how annoying MTV was.
Yes, terrible.
It's like if you put this all together, the episode is probably like 25 minutes
I
long.
know, it can't be any longer than that. It show for literally 5 seconds.
And then a 15-minute ad, basically.
Yes, it's terrible. It's
so
like you
annoying.
have to record it. And sometimes I do want to, like, it's Wednesday night and I'm just sitting here and I want to watch something live. It's like, no, you can't do it. Anywho.
All right, well, should we take a little break?
Sure.
All right. Okay, well, we're back. We just noticed that we thought we were recording our video and we were
there's
not.
There's going to be a gap.
Quite a long gap.
No footage.
Sorry about that, everyone.
Oh. Anywho, so I went and saw Oppenheimer.
I've wanted to see, but
I know
haven't.
it was good. I definitely wish I would have known a little bit more of the history.
Yeah.
Just 'cause I felt like I was a little bit lost the first hour because it was one of those movies where it starts at the new and then it like flashes back and forth. But then after that, you kind of get like the hang of it and stuff. But like everything kind of like ties back together and you're like figuring all this stuff out. And just like all the celebrity cameos that were in there.
I heard about.
I was like, what in the world? And then, oh my gosh, Josh Peck was in there or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't know he was going to be there. I'm like, Josh, our book club.
Yeah,
celebrity.
Our buddy.
I was literally getting so like worried because his part didn't have his speaking for a long time. Really? And I was like, oh no, like he's probably so sad because his speaking part probably got cut and everything. But then he ends up having like a bigger role in the end.
Okay.
Like actually kind of an important role. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I bet he took it so serious.
Well, we know he did.
He was probably freaking, you know what I kind of like about him is that I feel like he like is so thankful to be part of like a bigger picture. Mm-hmm. Like it's like obviously you want the main role, but I feel like he's like, I'm in this big movie with like a decently important part towards the like main spot where he's in, but I was just proud of him. But something I wanted to say was I had heard that because there's a Florence Pugh nude scene or whatever.
I heard about that, yeah.
And I heard that people were saying like, oh, her stomach isn't good.
Oh, really? I didn't hear that.
Just negative. But I feel like people or like men have said very negative things about her body before, and she's like commented on it. So then, of course, I had to like look at her stomach, and she's literally skinny. I mean, she doesn't have like a Margot Robbie like super thin, but she's skinny. Like,
but she's also shorter.
She is.
So the proportions are different.
Right. She's not being stretched out in that way, but
trust me, I know. You know, I am also short. And
I feel like she does have like a normal size. I don't even want to say a bigger rib cage. It's like a normal sized rib cage. And I just feel like we're so
used to people getting ribs removed.
Yes. Yeah. And we're so used to like during the movie and it wasn't even distracting or that noticeable really, but you could just see like the texture on people's skin and just they looked like real people.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
It is. And we're just so used to seeing those like filters on everything, and everything is so like we're so used to seeing influencers now that when an actual person with like normal teeth and normal skin. And it's like their skin is good. It just has texture. And if we saw these influencers in person, we would see texture on their skin too. But it's like it's crazy how it just messes with your mind.
I know.
And like the way you like see people.
Well, it's like when I think I said it on the podcast when I watched The Bear, and I said that I snapped you, and I was like, I just feel like, this one love interest like just isn't really that pretty. But then it was because she looks like a real person. She isn't all made up. No. She doesn't look perfect. The lighting isn't, amazing.
Flawless. Yeah, it's not, you don't go on their Instagram and everything is absolutely perfect.
It really does mess with your mind.
It does. So then and it's like, I feel like I haven't really seen movies as much as I used to. So it was kind of like,
well, it's kind of shocking too because we had just gone to see Barbie.
I know, and it was like such a filtered, perfect, everything, nothing was out of place.
Right. So
and then to go to like Oppenheimer where it was like, they wanted sometimes the characters to look older because it was like over a certain amount of time, but
I kind of wish that we would have done the Barbenheimer experience.
Me too.
But we just don't have that type of time to commit all the time. And we were on a tight schedule.
We were very ambitious that week, but
yeah, I want to see that movie.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
That's the kind of thing though where it's like, those types of movies, they're like, you need to experience it in the theater. But then you don't always want to go to the theater. But then it's like you feel if you don't see it there that your TV just doesn't do it justice.
I know. I mean, it was cool in the theater, but I definitely think that would be a nice movie that you could like just watch by yourself. And like,
was it long?
Mm-hmm. Okay. It was 3 hours.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Maybe in the next 6 months when it hits
streaming.
Hopefully it hits one of the ones I have.
Yeah, I know. Then there's that. Yeah. But I think we wanted to touch base on Barbie again.
Yeah. Just, kind of talked about, but we've seen a lot more of what other people have been saying. And some of the things that people said were things that we kind of talked about before, but then there were some other takes that I was like, I don't know. I didn't know how to feel about them.
I know. I feel like the thing, I don't know. I just feel like people didn't get it if they didn't like it. But I do think they were kind of vague about what it was actually going to be like. So I could understand somebody was like, I saw this one girl who was like, I wanted to go see a movie that was, just a fun, nostalgic Barbie movie. I didn't want any of the deep stuff. And it was like, I could see that because, I mean, we went into it not really understanding what it was. I mean, we've been wondering about this for months since they started filming. We're like, what is this thing? What's it going to be? But I just feel like, and I did not think that there was this big feminist agenda.
I didn't either.
I really took it as like, men and women need to work together to make a good world.
Because, like, are you just ignoring the whole, like, Ken story arc then?
Right.
Where it's like how, he was kind of fully in the background and just, like, there only to please Barbie. But then he went to the complete opposite end of the spectrum where he's like, patriarchy.
Horses.
Yes. And then he ended up being like, oh, I don't have to just be so on one extreme or the other. I can just figure out who I am.
I am Kana.
But it's like, did you not notice that part?
I just, it's like I just felt like people weren't, and it was like, oh, like, cry about it, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, you felt like you were just a stupid side character in a movie. It's like, well.
But the whole, like, Barbie story arc was completely, like, in line with Ken's, where it was like she started out as the main focus.
Right.
Then the script flipped, just like it did with Ken.
Right.
And then it ended up coming back to a middle ground.
Right. And they were like, Ken was able to embrace his emotions.
Yeah.
And she was able to be like, hey, I don't have to be with a man.
Yeah.
Or like, I can be my own person.
Or I can just figure out
as
my
I'm
life.
going on.
Yeah.
I know. I like some of that stuff was and I did get emotional during it. It makes it, and like, oh, never mind. I'll talk about that off the podcast.
We don't need to get too deep on it.
I just feel like people weren't getting it, and I think they were just expecting like this major comedy, but I did feel like it was a good comedy too. And
I thought it was a mix of everything. And I saw somebody else that thought that it was going to be this really like campy movie and like maybe super leaning into like the LGBTQ plus community storyline, but like I never thought that. I mean, I saw that they included like a trans woman as one of the Barbies. They had a gay man as one of the Kens. That was kind of woven in a little bit within the storyline.
I thought there was a lot of good representation.
Yeah, I thought there was too. And it just is like, why does a movie have to just be one thing? It's like, why was them having the representation of the different like gender identities and sexual orientations not enough? Why was them touching a bit on the femininity and those issues, and then the same with like the hypermasculization? Like, why was that not enough? Why can't it just be?
I know, and I think this is one of the movies that nothing felt forced with that stuff. Like, it felt very organic. It felt like there was a lot of time and thought into it. And it was like, I don't know. I just felt like they did a good job. Like, I feel like it could relate to a lot of people. And I think even like in the theater, it felt like there's a lot of big diverse group of women that were there.
I agree. And I mean, we even made comments how there were like men there too who were, you know, gay and straight and whatever in between. I don't know everybody's choices, but or like whatever, but it's like they were all there, and I thought that was great. Like, I felt that everybody was represented.
I know, I felt that way too. And then I think at the end of the day, it's like stereotypical Barbie, like what they called her, that's like what Barbie was. Right. It's like we can't ignore that either. And like Ken being Ken, you know, it's like I just feel like I don't know, I thought they did a good job, or she did a good job, Greta Gerwig.
And what's wrong with stereotypical Barbie?
Right.
It's like, that's fine. And I liked how they made, you know, I said before how I thought that the ending was a little like cheesy, but thinking back on it, it's like it was purposeful still. And it was like, okay, I am going to figure out my life. And it is a representation of like real women who kind of are that traditional woman model, or maybe who are somewhere in the middle. Like, it's okay to still not know and figure it out.
Right. And that type of girl, or like the type of Barbie girl who seems like she doesn't have emotions, like she does. Yeah. And I don't know. I thought it did I know. I thought it was good. I feel like people just didn't get it, or they were expecting something else, and that was causing it. But I do think just the criticism of it being too feminist and Ken was an idiot. It's like, no, you got that all wrong.
Yeah, and I do, you know, we've kind of talked before about we don't want to do or say things that are super controversial, but I feel like we also have to like give our opinions on stuff. And I really felt like this movie made me feel very understood as a woman. And just recently with stuff that's been going on in our world, or especially like politically, I've really felt like we're not necessarily being always heard or understood as women.
But no, I agree. And like people were like, America Ferrera's like speech about what it was like to be a woman. It was like, people are like, she's just spelling it out. Like, we already know that. It's like, no.
We don't. We all know it. I know. But we don't hear it from other people.
I know. And it's never really, I mean, yeah, there's been other times that, like I saw TikTok where it was like,
I saw that from New Girl.
Yeah, and like all that stuff. It was like, yeah, it's like we do have to keep repeating this because it's not getting through to some people. And the fact that people are like trying to make this movie this big feminist thing just proves that you're not getting it.
Right. That you're just
shutting
totally...
it immediately instead of
Yeah.
taking the time to actually sit there and listen to the message of the movie.
I know. I really...
No, I definitely...
I walked out of there, besides when we went to the bathroom and I felt judged. But but after that...
I think it just felt good to be like a woman.
Yes,
and feel
I felt
like
that way too.
represented, I guess.
And just like Greta knows, like
Yes.
she gets it, you know, and that's I guess the point that like I think when we like talk about this, we're trying to make. It's like everybody was still represented there with like trans women, like other parts of the LGBTQ community. They were all represented, but like women were also represented just for being a woman.
Yes, like a stereotypical woman.
And there was nothing wrong with any of that.
No.
Like, why can't we just have that be that?
I know. Why can't people handle a movie about being a woman?
Right.
Like, why
And what we said, like, a little bit before, too, like, I never, ever in my life, like, wanted to be a physical Barbie.
Right.
And so it was just really frustrating. And that's where, like, you know, I'm glad that the Sasha story arc ended up kind of changing towards the end. But, like, that really frustrated me because there are so many people that have, like, warped this with Barbie.
Yes,
and like
she's just this negative thing. What is negative about a woman that takes care of herself? Works out and has that. No, I'm just. But it's like.
But I mean, you know,
it's like she takes care of herself. She wears her makeup. She does her hair, and then she goes to space.
Like.
She runs for president.
Who doesn't? All women do that. But I mean, seriously,
no,
it's like
why can't we be everything? Why can't I be a girly girl and be a mechanic?
Right.
It's like Barbie shows that you can do all that.
Right. And I feel like that it was the point of the movie, and also for men, just showing like you can just be yourself.
Yes.
Like, literally.
I know. And I think in our last thing I said, I think it's not that I wouldn't want to go. I'm glad I saw the movie with you.
Yeah.
But at first I was like, I want to drug up my husband there. But then it was kind of like, but I think he would have enjoyed it.
Right.
And I think they would have gotten something out of it.
Yeah. I think the exact same thing, but I think like to see it for the first time.
Yeah, it was nice.
Like I wanted to experience that with like my friend who's like a girl. I would say my girlfriends, but we don't really have a group. But I want to see it with like another woman. It's like, you know?
And just to be able to like embrace something that is so feminine and nostalgic, because I do feel like just a lot of that has been kind of attacked lately.
I know. And it really brought up just remembering like so many things like we played with Barbies.
Yeah, and there was so much of that. And it was like, you know, a guy's not going to remember that the way we did. And I saw this TikTok too, and it was like at the Taylor Swift concert, it had the Barbie song playing, and it was like, this is the summer of just girlhood. And just like all these girls embracing being a girl. I don't know.
I don't know. It just feels like sometimes it just feels like women just continuously get pushed aside.
Yeah, for
and like it just
everyone.
You know, and I feel like it makes me kind of emotional because it's just like it just feels like we can't be ourselves.
No, it's like, and just like being, I mean, I think we want to do a whole episode about this, but just like villainizing femininity from women.
Right.
And it's just, I mean, we don't have to get too much into it.
But yeah, it just feels, I don't know. I have liked this, even though, I mean, you went to Taylor Swift, I didn't. But, like, even stuff that I see about that, it's like the line for the men's restroom is literally zero because it's all women that are here.
Yeah, and just, like, being around women. Yeah. You know, it's like, it's okay if there's something just for us that we're enjoying, and you guys don't have to get it.
We don't need to be apologetic about just being a woman
and enjoying feminine things.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, but I really liked it. I think I sent this to you with like how some people really took like the Ken character and were just like, our hero, we love Ken. And it's like, I loved Ken too, but it kind of frustrated me because I'm like, yet again, we're going to have a man steal.
I know. And it is tough because he did a great, like Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Did an amazing job. It was a standout. He just really embraced all of it. And it was really beautiful. It's like,
yeah,
I can say, it's like we can say he did an amazing job, but I definitely did see like, people are like, I want the I am Canuck. Enough.
Which is, it's funny, but it's just like.
It's like, no, you're missing the point. Like,
it was about Barbie.
I know, but I know if he didn't do such a dang good job.
And I mean, obviously the writing from Greta was so good too, and like it was everything. I mean, I really don't have like a bad thing to say about the movie.
No,
but it was just kind of funny and like irked me a little
bit.
And
I was here we go
seriously?
Again. You can't even have a Barbie movie without people being like,
I know.
But
yeah, I mean, I am kind of looking forward to it coming out on streaming.
I know. I would like to watch it again and like take it in again because it was like you did there, but it was like in the way where it threw me off, like the emotional parts. Yeah, I was like, oh my,
and honestly,
welling eyes,
like because it's been a couple weeks since we've seen it, and it's like I've thought about it or seen different things. It's like, wow, like this touched me.
And then it's like I want to get, and then they keep showing like stuff on TikTok with it and everything, and it's like and then I get in the comments, I'm like, oh no, you didn't get it. It's like you want to comment, but obviously you can't. But it's like, I don't know, it just felt good to like get it out again. It's like, no, you're missing the point.
I know. I did see so many TikToks where people are like now looking at different Barbies from different years, or like the 2000s era of Barbies, and I saw one and it was just like, here are Barbies you might have forgotten about, and there were so many in there that I'm like, oh my gosh, like I forgot I had that. I love that outfit. Or like my friends had that one and we would put it all the time. Like I do really,
or the commercials for them,
and I do really enjoy like seeing that again. Just that nostalgia is really like just, I don't know, it's really nice, and it makes me want to look at my Barbies that are at my dad's house and just
like really look at them and just like, because
and give them a little hug.
Yeah, it's like you did so much for me.
I mean, really though, like
they did. It was like our dolls that we could make pretty and cut their hair and
and I feel like people like. Not everybody understands that. Like, men don't fully understand that.
I know. They just slammed their G.I. Joes into each other and their little Power Rangers, and they had missing
their cars
legs
and their tanks. And, I mean, we were there thinking of entire storylines for our Barbies.
I have hard times playing with my son sometimes because he just wants to slam everything. Like, I remember I would have, like, backstory. Even with, like, my horses. It's like, there'd be injuries. We're looking for the long-lost dad. It's like, just this elaborate thing, and it's like, oh, okay. I guess we can slam this into together.
I know, funny. Or like all the outfit changes.
Yeah, and it's interesting too that like girls, like even little girls, can like handle having like an assortment of this tiny little accessories where boys have to have just like one car, 2 car,
and they're all big things because
they'll just shatter them.
I know,
but
we should. I know my stuff at my dad's. I know where it is. Like we should look at it and like make a little bit of content about.
We should.
That'd be cute. And I have some of my mom's stuff. I wish that like. I don't know. It's not that I didn't take care of hers, but it was just...
You could have taken better.
Right. And I mean, honestly, think about it. Like, by the time I got those dolls, it's like they were 30 years old. You know what I mean? So, of course, they're...
played with and loved.
Yeah, I mean, they were already missing legs. So, which I would take one of those, like, fabric little mini scrunchies and tie it around. So it just looked like they had really big hips. And then the leg would always fall off. You tried to super glue it and it wouldn't work. And then you can't move the leg
material.
joint. I know. But anyway, yeah, I've been enjoying thinking about the Barbie movie.
Me too. I do feel like it had like a lasting impact on me, and I like want to be able to watch it again and take it in again. But...
And to me, it really like lived up to all the hype.
I know. In a way I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. Even though we didn't have real expectations.
No.
But it definitely, whatever I did vaguely think, it went above and beyond.
I know.
So.
Same. But one thing that, just a little touching base with the Kardashians.
Well.
Kylie admitted that she got her boobs done.
Yes.
That's all she admitted to, which we know isn't true. But I was just kind of thinking about that, like on all her lies and like completely denying it for all these years. It's like, what's more damaging? Like, that or Barbie?
Right. And honestly, like for her too, like what is more damaging? You just lying about it for all this time and letting everybody think that you just like, magically...
it was my period. Yeah. It's the bombshell
I wear
bra.
all these push-up bras. Yeah. Or you just coming out and saying, yeah, I got my breasts done when I was, 19.
I know. I guess I was really frustrated with it, honestly, because the way they'll sit there and say, no, I mean, we work out. No, blah, blah, blah. It's like, you're lying.
Right. Especially with that, because it was so obvious.
Yes. And then you just kind of like, it ends up being like canon because you're like, well, she's saying she didn't, and then it's never addressed again.
And for us, I feel like we were, the Jenner girls are younger than us, so I feel like I never looked at them like, oh my gosh, I want to be like Kylie. But for younger girls, it's like they would have actually thought like, oh my gosh, like, look at, she just wears these bras, or well, why don't I look like that? Or why doesn't my period do that to me?
I know, which is crazy too. And it's like, even though we're like, we can physically see like a before and after picture, it's still the denying. You're almost like, well, maybe it's like they're gaslighting
us. No, they are for sure.
Like, no, we don't get work done. You liar. You just have been
lied.
lying for all these years, and it was just really frustrating. And it's like, okay, well, then we know you had a BBL then too, but you just conveniently left that part of it out.
I mean, it's obvious that
it's
obvious that they all did, except for, I don't think Courtney, and Kendall, obviously. But yeah, I mean, they all, you don't have, especially like, yes, Kylie is young and she had her kids, and I do think that she's working out now, but before she's like, no, I don't even work out.
And I know that was a whole narrative too. It's like, I don't work out. I hate working out.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, my stomach literally is as flat as a table, and I don't have an ounce of fat except for my butt. Like, come on.
And then when we see like pictures from like a, just like the photographers versus what they post, especially with Kylie, it's like, look, it's just like, I don't even know what to think of it anymore.
I know. That was honest. I don't know. It was disappointing.
It was.
And I appreciate that she finally did come out and say something, but it still was disappointing.
It was. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, literally when I saw that, I was like,
okay, so who's next? Kim? What are you
gonna... Are you gonna finally admit to everything? It's like, no, I don't know. It was like, I guess it's
the thing with me is like, I can honestly look past face stuff.
Yeah.
Like Botox, a little lift, a little filler.
Right.
Okay. And I think,
like, I don't blame you either. It's like, of course, I'd love to like
just do a little bit here and there.
Right.
And honestly, it is amazing what makeup can do.
Right.
And I think that they have way better makeup artists. Just all of us as
better
an entire population know more now than we did in 2004.
Yes.
So like, I can look at before and after photos of just their faces and be like, I can see where it's just a little contouring here versus there. But with their bodies, it's just like, you're just seriously taking the beauty standards and completely warping them. And it's really impactful on people, and not just young girls. Like, it makes me, a 30-year-old, feel bad about myself.
Yes. You're like, why isn't my body? There was a couple years ago where I looked at Kylie one day and I was like, I'm not jealous anymore because this isn't a real body. Yeah. Like, I just was like, people aren't walking around the street looking like this, but it still affects, you know, it's like she has 2 kids and she looks like that. And it's like, that does like affect everybody and just all of them. It's just so frustrating. You know, and everybody makes their own choices, but it's like there's girls who are going out and getting, you know, like in these random places, getting these BBLs and like
dangerous
dying.
procedures.
Yeah, and some of them are dying, and it's a terribly, but they're going to the best of the best.
Right.
And have
but they're not saying that they are. So everybody just thinks.
Goes out and it's like, oh, well, I'm going to go to wherever and get this thing. And then they like pass away and they look crazy because it was a botched job. And it's like you have, I wish they would take a little bit more responsibility.
And they kind of have been alluding to it.
Yeah, they've gotten a bit better. And it does feel like Kylie wants to come out and say more.
Well, especially, I mean, I really think that Kylie is a great mother. And I think that her children are so precious and beautiful. And I mean, Stormy is just the cutest little well-behaved thing I've ever seen in my life. But it's like, I think it must really make you question your choices to be a mother of a daughter.
Yeah, and to see like what you've done.
Because she said, she's like, I just look at her and she's so perfect. And if she felt like she needed to do something to her body, like that would crush me.
I know. And then she's like, I love Stormy's ears now. Or I love my ears now because Stormy has them. Yeah. And she's like, I used to hate them.
Yeah.
And it's like, I do think she is being more affected by it, which I don't know. I guess that's kind of good. But I do think that is a lesson, too, in, like, doing that kind of stuff so young.
Yeah. But there's still a veil there, you know? I mean, she's saying a little bit that she's affected by it, that it is, you know, she's coming out and saying and admitting what she's had done. But she's not going all the way.
Yeah, she's like, oh, yeah, I had my boobs done, but, like, whatever.
But that's it. I never got anything else.
Like, all this is natural. But I don't know. Yeah, it was disappointing.
Yeah, it felt like that was just a blip on the radar.
I know, and that's kind of like what they do sometimes that I find really frustrating. It's like, oh yeah, like yeah, I did that. Okay, let's move on. It's like no. You don't get to do that after all these years of lying and making me feel like garbage.
Yeah.
But
I know. I feel I can't. Even though I unplugged that and I meant to.
The last thing I was going to say was about Megan Fox's book.
Oh, yeah, we can talk about that. The two that I have are a little bit more controversial. And we could probably. I don't know if we want to talk about them.
Or we can save them for next time, too, or unless they'll be outdated.
The one is going to be dated.
We can talk about it.
I don't know. Should we just throw it in there?
Sure.
Okay.
All right, let's start with Megan Fox.
Okay.
So this is like breaking news. Megan Fox.
We never have breaking news. But we legitimately do.
Megan Fox is coming out with a poetry book.
Yes.
And this is, I don't know exactly what poetry is going to mean. I'm thinking that she didn't want to do a memoir, but it kind of reminds me that it might be kind of like Emily Ratajkowski's book. But I'm hoping it'll be a little bit more likable.
Yeah, I will say I know someone who is so gifted at writing poetry, and like it's not, you know, the standard like it all rhymes or anything like that, but like it's more free verse. Yeah, but it is so beautiful, and it's like you read that and you feel the emotion from them. And from that little blurb that she posted with the cover of the book, it really seems to me like it is going to be like that type of,
like, I'm really hoping, like, especially because people are like saying she's like kind of cringy now. It's like I'm just really hoping,
which sometimes she is, but
she can be. I know. Let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping it'll be really good because I do think she has a good story to tell.
I mean, just I guess this episode has kind of like morphed into, or the second half that you guys get to see has been morphed into like a feminism type of thing, or just talking about like womanhood.
Yes.
And I feel like she's right in that vein too, where, you know, she has been vilified for being just like a woman or being like an attractive woman,
and
but
like,
not in the same way that like Emily Ratajkowski really was.
Right.
It's like different, and I think that she's going to have a different take on her experience.
Where it's like she doesn't, like I feel like she really didn't do it to herself. Society did it to her.
Yeah, and she's spoken out about it before, especially in years past, and she was basically just like ostracized. I know, because
people weren't ready to hear it. I remember she had that quote too where she's like, I tried to tell people, and she's like, I just accepted that I'm just not a relatable, or I'm not somebody that women want to feel bad for. And I remember hearing that, and I was like, oh,
and how sad is
it
that?
It is. It's like, women support women. It's like, but not if they're the most attractive goddess in the world. We cannot support her. Or
it's really like women support women until they get attention from men.
Yeah.
And then
I know.
Women don't want
I'll support a woman that I'm not threatened by.
Exactly.
But that's a whole other topic.
We won't go there right now.
But
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. November 7th, I think it said,
Yeah, that's when it
right?
said. It said you could pre-order now maybe or something. But I'm not
I
too
honestly,
worried about it. But I do.
I would want that actual physical copy of that, because
it was like,
I just would like to
what was it called? Pretty Boys Are Poisonous?
Yeah, are poisonous.
So, yeah, I do think, I don't know, I'm curious about it.
So, like, pre-order that one.
I know. And I feel like people never let her talk. And this is like her words. So I do think it will be interesting just to like hear from her. So
something to look forward to for November.
Yeah.
When we're coming into like the winter blues, that'll be.
They'll pick us up a little for the holidays.
Something that's a little timely too is, did you see everything with like the Jamie Foxx controversy? The Instagram thing.
Yes, I did see that post.
So, okay. I saw this like whenever he posted it, and I think I saw something on the Daily Mail, and it was where like Jen Aniston came out and was like, I did not like this. I don't support this. And then I saw yesterday where there was more details about it. And I just thought it was really interesting because, again, in the vein where we're kind of saying like we always want to try and be kind of PC ourselves on the podcast, but sometimes it means that we don't fully share our opinions, or just speaking of like everybody in the world, but especially in Hollywood, where it's like they probably do have other opinions that aren't the norm of everybody else, but they don't say it because
I know they're so scared of getting canceled.
But this was just so interesting. So for anybody who doesn't know, and just to like quickly recap, I guess Jamie Foxx just posted one of those little text blurbs on his Instagram, and I wrote it down so I didn't like misquote it.
Right.
But he said like, they killed that dude named Jesus. What do you think they'll do to you? # fake friends, fake love. And when I read that, I immediately thought like people like did something horrible to the Messiah, if you believe that, you know, with your religion. But basically just this person who was like such an amazing person. What do you think they're going to do to you, who's like a normal, everyday Joe Schmo? That's what I thought, especially with the hashtags.
Right.
Now, somehow it got twisted to be anti-Semitic, which is kind of crazy.
I know it is. I think like if the first part, or the first thing I saw of it was people saying it was anti-Semitic, and then when you first read it and you have that
in your head,
you're like, that was a really bizarre thing to say. But if you're seeing the hashtags, and if you're thinking about like, even like Judas, when he says fake
Yes.
friends, it's like, okay, so you're talking about like a Judas.
The betrayal.
Yeah.
Right. So then, Jen Aniston, I guess, I mean, she obviously liked it. It popped up and said,
She was
liked
probably
by.
like, oh, I'm supporting my friend who has fake friends.
Right. So she liked it, and then the whole anti-Semitic thing came out, that narrative, and she immediately distanced myself. I don't support this.
Yeah.
I never liked this. I never even saw it. You know, she went really overboard. But then what I saw yesterday was how all these other people and the celebrities that came out and supported Jamie Foxx that I saw in this article were all part of the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, how could this be twisted? This is crazy. And then the quote unquote like normal population that aren't celebrities also were like tweeting and commenting about it. And they're like, this is literally a phrase that we use in the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
And like, how did it get so twisted? And like, that shows just how there's literally such a divide that people immediately jump to like this negative, horrible
I know.
thing.
It's like, what? It's like, it feels like people are just sitting on their computers waiting.
Yeah.
To pounce on whatever they can pounce on.
Right.
They're digging through stuff, you know, and it's like.
And I mean, when have we had like a huge scandal with Jamie Foxx where he's hated any community?
I know. And if you truly believed it was an anti-Semitic comment, wouldn't you be like, whoa, what's happening? You've never said anything like this before. Like, are you okay? Like, why would you say?
Were you hacked? What's going on?
It's like, automatically assume he's this horrific person.
Right. So then Jamie Foxx had to come out and say, like, I never meant it that way. I was talking about being betrayed by a friend who I thought I could trust, which is exactly
Judas.
Right. But I just thought it was really nice to see people who are... Maybe they're not even like actual friends of Jamie Foxx, but they jump to his aid. And I just feel like we don't see that a lot now. Because like you said, everybody's so scared of being canceled.
I know, and it's like immediately, like even with like the Lizzo stuff, I think we were kind of talking about it. It's like none of her celebrity friends are sticking up for, and if all these allegations are true,
I mean, it's pretty horrible. But
yeah, it's awful. And then it's also like maybe they also had bad experiences with her, and that's why they're not speaking out. But it's like no one's gonna dare, speak out or even like defend the friend or anything. It's like
it's so wild.
You can't. You just have to literally like leave them in the dust. All the time. It's like, oh yeah, I don't know that person, even though we have 75 pictures.
Right. And like Jen Aniston could have like text Jamie Foxx and been like, hey man, like I'm sorry, I just had to like put that out there, but like I support you. But like it doesn't matter because
and then the thing too is it's now Jennifer Aniston is getting canceled for something she didn't even post.
Right.
You know, I don't know.
The whole thing is just crazy how it got so twisted, and it's just like
it's like we always assume somebody is saying something hurtful and like it's not always like that. Sometimes you just feel a feeling and you post it and maybe you shouldn't have, but it's like that's why we have such curated celebrity things now,
and we don't know what's real and what's not.
No, it's like everything has to be completely surface level, or else it's like if you post your kids, oh well, you're not holding your kid right. If you like, and why can't people just talk about that amongst themselves? Like I can't imagine actually getting on a celebrity's thing and being like, you suck.
Right. And especially when it's something so vague as this. I mean, he didn't come out and say like, I hate this certain community.
Right.
You know, what he wrote was pretty cryptic.
Right.
You know, it could have been honestly about like a plethora of things.
Right.
But like he just put it out. And how many times, like back when like Twitter was big, which I guess a lot of people still use Twitter, but like I don't anymore. But like I used
a mess on there.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's the Wild Wild West.
And we could go to Threads. But like people would just tweet out like, oh, I had this thought, or like the stupid Facebook posts that you would put. I mean, it would be like, what's on your mind? And you would just write literally what was on your mind that moment. I mean, you look back on that kind of stuff and you're like, oh my, why would I ever share that? Even if it's not something controversial, it's just like how dumb,
how
you know?
cringy.
Yeah, it's like, and then you have these people that are going back and finding those things on celebrities. And it's just
it's like, dang, what did your Twitter look like in 2013?
And sometimes people are just reactionary too. And like Jamie Foxx obviously was having an emotional moment with the betrayal of a friend. Thought, you know what? People can relate. I'm kind of mad right now.
I know. Or I want this person to see this and know I'm talking about them. It's like, I don't know.
It never ever crossed his mind that it could be interpreted like that.
Anti-Semitic. I know. It's like you literally can't say anything right, and I think it is going to come to a point. I mean, look at what happened to comedy. There is no... and obviously a lot needed to change. Right. But it's gotten to the point where you can't laugh at anything. I know. There's no such thing as jokes. There's... It's just a lot.
I know. I can't imagine. That's what we've said before. Like, I literally can't imagine being someone that's in the public eye right now because you are just so scrutinized.
Yes.
And like trying to be like a comedian, I feel like you'd be so scared of, oh my God, what can I say in my routine? What can I not? Like,
I know.
It's a tough time. But I really liked seeing that some of his friends or just people in the public eye came to his aid.
He is.
Or just said like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, like calm down. Yeah. Get the full story. I did just see that lady on the plane. I'm telling you now. That's good. That is not real. But
you've been practicing.
Because it's so funny, the quote. But I just seen that they came out with like who she is.
Yes, I just saw that too.
And we don't know, like, really understand the full story, but it's like maybe she was freaking having a bad day. Right. And who knows what they're saying, but whatever. It's like, it's just crazy that they showed her house.
Yes, they were like it's a $2 million home. Why did we need to know that?
Okay, she's
how's that pertinent to this? I know, she's the founder of this marketing company, and it said what it was. Okay, great. So I'm sure
that's gonna be destroyed now. And
like, come on. Why did we have to put her name out there?
I know, and it is crazy. We've talked about this before, I don't know, on the podcast, but it's like there's literally like paparazzi outside of these regular people's houses.
I know.
Who've been like canceled or caught on video being whatever. It's like, what in the world? It's so Black Mirror.
It seriously is. I mean, it's terrifying.
It is. It's like, and then we're like putting ourselves out here. But it's like, I guess at a certain point, though, we just have to we've got to start looking at people's intent. Like, are they trying to hurt somebody, or are they having a bad day and losing it? Like, if somebody recorded me on a day where I was like having a mental breakdown, I'm probably not saying the best things. Am I an evil person? No, I'm trying my best. You know, it's like, it's going to get to a point where
I don't even know. It's going to get to a point.
Even worse. Yeah. People are going to be outside my house picketing.
Why did we start a podcast? It's a weird time that we're in right now. And I just feel like, not that we really say anything that's like, or even in this podcast, anything that's like super crazy.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I feel like
anybody can take one little tiny piece of what you said.
Of what we said, or how easy is it to like clip two things together? Like,
and be like, look at what they said about anti-women.
Yeah.
It's like,
suddenly it's all twisted.
And it's like our whole podcast was trying to uplift women, but then they take this one little spot. But
anyway, yeah, that was probably a longer episode. But we had a lot to catch up on. There was a lot that had happened since our last episode. And we need to talk about our book club.
Oh, yeah. We are going to be doing Selma Blair's book called Mean Baby. My dog's threatening me. He's like, I'm going to pee on the floor if you don't let me out.
Okay. Yeah, Mean Baby, we're gonna be reading that. I'm excited about this book. I do like Selma Blair. I'm interested to know about more of her health journey as of late. And oh, I forgot we're on video. That whole thing.
Anyway,
we're keeping it in.
It's fine. We already lost too much footage. Yeah, I'm curious to see, since it was written in 2022, not 2002.
She said 2002 before, and I was dying laughing. Yeah, but I also, not to like go off on this now, but recently, I don't know how her health is doing, because for a time there, she was really like struggling, and even with walking.
And she was on Dancing with the Stars and had to quit.
But I saw a photo of her semi recently, and she didn't appear in this moment to have her cane, which I'm sure that she can have some good days, bad days. But I was like, I wonder if like, is she getting a different type of treatment? Like, and I know that's not going to be in the book but still.
Right. Yeah, I know. I'm curious to see like the struggle, because I honestly don't know much about her illness. I mean, like surface level I do, but
but not,
it'll be interesting to hear it from like her perspective, and I guess like her life at all. I hope there's some juice in there. There probably isn't, because I haven't heard much. But
I don't know. I feel like Hannah's gonna let the dog in. Stand by. I feel like she would kind of air stuff out. Like, I could see her doing that and just being like, you know what? I don't care. I'm talking about it. I'm saying it.
My fear, though, is that it'll be a Demi Moore book.
Oh.
And to really understand that sentiment, you have to listen and read Demi Moore's book.
But you said before that hers was kind of like super negative.
It was. That's what I'm worrying about Selma Blair. But I don't know. It seems if it's called Mean Baby, then maybe she's trying to be like a fighter.
That really tells me a lot about what it's gonna be.
Not a sexy baby, but a mean baby. I'm not exactly sure what that means.
So yeah, we're gonna be reading that. Follow along, and let us know what you think too. Yeah. We can't wait to hear. We both have to start it, the audiobooks. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that at the end of the month. So, like we said before, don't forget to subscribe, follow us on everything.
Yes, please.
We need you.
It's not overly riveting, but we just want some engagement. Like, give us a couple comments.
Even, if you... We're begging. We beg every time. But it's like, I see that you guys are listening. I see that you're seeing our stuff. Could you please just follow us?
Don't be nervous to be the first person.
Yeah, to comment.
I know. We'll comment back.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Give us a little something. Did you have
any type of
story? Tell us anything. You met a celebrity? Did you like the Barbie movie? Do you disagree with what we thought about it?
Word. Anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
then use our code for...
Oh, yes. Use our code for dough. Oh, next episode, I thought it might have arrived but for this one, but next episode, we're going to be trying a new product. Actually, I don't know if it'll be in the episode, or maybe we'll make a TikTok or something about it, or... Oh!
Another dog.
This is a fun one.
My dogs are very high maintenance and needy. This was killing her not sitting there.
She won't show her face, though.
Just like her back turned.
She's low profile. She doesn't want to be. We won't say her name.
I don't want to show her face.
Like a baby.
Yeah. Anyway.
But anyway, yeah, make sure you use our promo code on Dell. We have everything linked for that. And our promo code is ESWB pod. And you can get some nice little discount, and then use the code free shipping on orders over $30. And that's dough, spelled very French. DEUX.
Loves it.
Love that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. It's good to be back. It's good to have some breaking news to share and have it come out in a timely manner.
Yes.
So I'm like trying to look around. Hi.
Her big full up.
Okay.
Well, thank you. Bye.